How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There is a shakeout happening right now. Actually, it happened a few hours ago. And since that happened, we're already bouncing back up to $98,000 Bitcoin. And there have been some big announcements, some really important announcements that you should know. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this. And I will apologize, I'm a little bit slouchy because I have the baby right here, but I wanted to make a video because we had a pretty big shakeout earlier today. A lot of altcoins are still down pretty significantly from where they were earlier. Bitcoin fell down to 94,000, Solana down to 200, XRP down to $2. And a lot of alts went down 5 to 25%. It's so obvious what's happening, though, and Tom Lee's actually talked about this before. Tom Lee from Fundstrat has said that exchanges literally are trying to shake people out because they don't have enough crypto for their OTC desks. They don't have enough crypto in general for the demand that's out there. So what do you do when BlackRock comes to you and says, hey, we need some more Bitcoin? Well, you liquidate some people. You force down the price. You get your hands on some more Bitcoin. People force sell. People get scared and sell. But when there's an absence of bad news, that's all it is forced selling. I saw some people worried too. I saw someone posting as well, like a researcher posting that there was $2 billion in outflows from BlackRock today, which is not true. They have been moving around some of their Bitcoin to different wallets, maybe for security reasons or something else. But what happened today is actually we saw a $400 million inflow from BlackRock. We also saw a $175 million inflow from Fidelity. So, yeah, they continuously buy. We also saw some other pretty interesting stuff, some pretty crazy stuff that we'll talk about. Again, though, I want to lay it out there that if you want to trade, when we have these kinds of liquidation cascades, you can put limit orders in so that you can catch a wick, and then you can get a pretty automatic return if you do it well, right? If you put it at the right level, obviously. But you can, even if you're off by a little bit and you do a 3x leverage or something and you put it at 95 and then we go down to 94, but then we're back at 98, that's a pretty nice return right there. So if you want to check that out, there's a link to BTCC underneath the video where you can start trading. Also a link to Blowfin, CoinW, and those exchanges as well. Now, something really interesting happened. We have all those inflows for BlackRock, for Fidelity, and at the same time, we're seeing nation states confirmed that they are buying Bitcoin. We have the Prince of Serbia. I didn't even know that was a thing, but the Prince of Serbia saying there is accumulation happening behind closed doors at a national level. Like, we already know as Serbia that there are countries that are buying Bitcoin. And it's pretty obvious. I mean, we've known this for years. There are countries that are accumulating Bitcoin. Bhutan, El Salvador, possibly Argentina. There are countries that are accumulating or mining Bitcoin, that kind of thing. And yet people don't want to believe it because it's not the US, it's not Russia, it's not China. Well, now it is. It sounds like it is, right? Serbia, if I remember right, is very close to Russia. So, yeah, there have been a lot of rumors that they are putting a lot of money into mining. If they're putting a lot of money into mining, I can guarantee you they're putting a lot of money into buying Bitcoin as well. They're buying reserves because that's actually a lot easier to do, I think, than mining. But mining, I think, is something that these countries will turn to when they can't get their hands on enough. And obviously, the OTC desks are running fairly dry. So we have Russia doing that. The U.S. is most likely going to do that as well. Dennis Porter continuously talking about how that needs to happen. A lot of other Bitcoiners are saying that needs to happen too. Strategic reserves, keep in mind, they don't need to be massive at first to make a difference, right? We have strategic reserves of a bunch of different assets just in case something happens. So I think it would make sense to start with some Bitcoin and then add to it over time. Again, it doesn't have to be massive at first, but it should be added to consistently. I think, I say it doesn't have to be massive at first. I think to get people onboarded. They're not going to come out and say that they're selling all their gold or anything like that to go buy Bitcoin, but they might sell a little bit, or they might just add to some Bitcoin or something else. It has to be something that enough people won't be pissed off at, even if they don't understand Bitcoin. Now, we have that happening. We also have someone from the Russian government saying that they should create a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. I forgot the title that the person has, but it sounded important. So Russia, people are outwardly saying that they should buy Bitcoin. At the same time, Putin just said last week that no one can stop crypto, no one can stop Bitcoin. So it's an interesting time to be in the market because, again, you might have the ability to buy in before some of the major nations. But again, I've said this so many times, these countries are not price sensitive. They don't care if Bitcoin's at 100 or 70 or 150. They're just going to accumulate. Like this wouldn't be a thing in another asset. You wouldn't even hear about it. You wouldn't even think about it. The fact is they lose billions and trillions of dollars a year. How many times has the Pentagon failed their audit? Like, money is not a thing to a wealthy nation. Of course, debt is a little bit of a thing and that kind of thing. But like they can lose hundreds of billions of dollars and no one really gets up in arms. So again, having a strategic Bitcoin reserve makes a lot of sense. And I think this is bound to happen. I think it's getting more likely every single day. And we already know other countries are doing this. We had CZ also saying that Dubai has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. He said that, I think it was today. But sounds like we'll get some more big news throughout the week. Maybe similar news to this kind of thing. With a prince telling us that there are strategic reserves being set up around the world. And then game theory really comes in. Game theory, just the theory of how different people navigate a game, basically. So, like, if this player does this player has to do this. And the fact is, when you have one nation that's very competitive start buying an asset that is scarce, other nations have to do it. Even if they don't really like the asset, they think, why not, right? We can put, a tenth of our GDP into it this year or whatever it is. So that starts to force up the price. That makes other nations start to look at it, and it's a domino effect. So it'll be interesting to see how this all works out. It'll be interesting to see where we are in even a month, 2 months. What kind of news has been unleashed? I think there's so much news every single day. And if you look, like, over the last month, how much Bitcoin has BlackRock bought? How much Bitcoin has MicroStrategy bought? MicroStrategy is to the point where only nations, and really only nations, I think, will be able to outpace them. You could say, well, BlackRock's done that. Yeah, but BlackRock isn't the one that owns all that, right? I guess the U.S., the Bitcoin would fall to, all the different individual citizens. For MicroStrategy, it's all the shareholders. But I think of it a little bit differently because BlackRock has, 1,000 different hedge funds, 1 million different individual investors that buy it. MicroStrategy is a lot more centralized. The U.S., like the people that hold the power, that actually control whether we buy Bitcoin or not, they're a lot more centralized too. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes. Let me know your thoughts underneath the video, but I think something very interesting is happening right now behind the scenes. So don't get shaken out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.